Summary of We Were Liars by E. Lockhart. Katie Eastman, who is 18 years old, has spent almost every summer of her life with the rich Sinclair family on the private island of Beechwood by Martha's Vineyard. During the summers when Katie was a child, she played with her cousins Johnny and Mirren during those times. But things change in year 8 when Katie's Aunt Carrie comes with her boyfriend Ed and his nephew Gat. Gat is about the same age as Katie, Johnny, and Mirren. The four of them become fast friends and start calling themselves the Liars. Katie and Gat fall in love and start spending more time alone together as teens. Gat, who is South Asian and therefore an outsider in this old New England family, is accepted into the family on the surface, but it is clear that his growing feelings for Katie cause problems for the Sinclairs, especially for Harris, the head of the family. The Sinclairs are a traditional New England family. Harris and Tipper have 3 girls named Penny, Carrie, and Bess. Each of them has a huge inheritance and a big house on Beechwood Island. The Sinclair family tries to keep up a perfect image, but as Katie says at the start of the book, that image is based on lies and fantasy. The Sinclair girls are very dependent on their father. They need both his money and his approval to stay alive. Outsiders find the close-knit family structure exhausting. On the day Katie's father leaves her mother, he says that he can't take the stress of being a Sinclair any longer. It turns out that all of the sisters' marriages end in divorce. When Carrie brings Ed to the island, Harris doesn't want to accept him as family. Harris says he cares about equality and thinks he knows a lot about social issues, but his response to Gat's race difference shows a shocking amount of racism. He is happy to vote for Barack Obama, but he can't accept that his granddaughter likes a guy from South Asia. Tipper Harris's death breaks up the family, leaving Bess, Carrie, and Penny to fight over their relationship with their father and, more importantly, his huge wealth. Each of the women thinks she should get a bigger share of the fortune. They even ask their children, Johnny, Mirren, and Katie, to ask Harris for more money or valuable things. None of the Sinclair sisters can take care of their families on their own, so they count on this money a lot. Penny doesn't make much money from her job breeding dogs, Carrie's jewelry store failed, and Bess, who stays at home with her kids, doesn't make any money of her own. Harris often sets the women against each other to keep control of their lives, which makes things even worse. In the summer of her 15th year, Katie is in some kind of accident that leaves her in the hospital with a major head injury. She has no memory of what happened. She remembers waking up on the beach, but she doesn't know how she got there. When she asks her mother about the accident, she doesn't give her any solid answers, and she is constantly annoyed that her mother won't tell her the whole story. Katie recovers from her injuries over the course of 2 years, during which time she has constant headaches and can't stop thinking about what happened that night on Beechwood. The next summer, Katie can't go back to the island because she has to go to Europe with her dad, Mr. Eastman. She misses Johnny, Mirren, and Gat, the other Liars, and writes to them all the time. But she never hears back from any of them, which makes her sad and confused. Katie goes back to the island with her mother the summer she turns 17. She is thrilled to see her best friends again, especially Gat, who still loves her very much. Because the adults are always fighting with each other, the Liars hide out in a house on the other side of the island, where Katie and Gat can continue their relationship without their parents seeing. Many things have changed while Katie was away, but the most upsetting is the big change that Harris made to Claremont, the island's main house. He took Harris's lovely old house and turned it into something modern, austere, and germ-free, and then he renamed it New Claremont. Even though Katie is happy to be with her family again for the summer, she is very focused on finding out what happened the night of her accident. She has asked everyone in her family, but they have all been told not to tell her anything and to let her figure it out on her own. Like a detective trying to solve a crime, Katie writes down all the hints about that night on the wall of her bedroom. She is angry and determined. With the help of Johnny, Mirren, and Gat, Katie starts to remember what happened before the accident. She finds out that Ed had asked Carrie to marry him years before, but she turned him down because she was afraid she would lose her fortune if she married an Indian man. Katie also remembers how angry she and the other liars were when they talked about their plan to destroy Claremont, the big house on the island that, to them, stood for the racism and greed that was tearing their family apart. The Sinclair sisters would no longer have anything to fight about if Claremont and all the important things that were in it were taken away. Then Katie remembers that terrible night, how they forgot to let the dogs out of the house before setting it on fire, how they each took a different part of the house, and how the fire spread faster than they thought it would, trapping Johnny, Mirren, and Gat inside and killing them. When Katie remembers the accident and how she played a part in the deaths of her best friends, she learns that she has been spending the summer with the ghosts of Johnny, Mirren, and Gat. She talks to them one last time to say goodbye, and then they are gone for good. After being sad for a while but ready to get better, Katie goes back to New Claremont to be with her family.
About the author. Emily Jenkins was born in New York City in 1967 and goes by the pen name E. Lockhart. Author, scriptwriter, director, and screenwriter Len Jenkin is her father. He and Emily stayed in Cambridge, Massachusetts, for a short time before settling down in Seattle, Washington. Emily went to the city's elite private high school Lakeside School and spent her summers at drama camps across the Midwest. For her first degree, she went to Vassar College. After that, she went to Columbia University and got her PhD in English literature. She has written books for kids, teens, and adults, and she teaches creative writing at Hamline University in Minnesota.
Hope we summarized it fully and you liked it. Please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel so that we are motivated to create more videos.